She waited nearly a lifetime to chase the dream and then finally wrote the magical adventure she had imagined for years. It's Raine Bee, who spent decades balancing government work, family life, and responsibility before turning retirement into a second act as a children's fantasy author. So we're going to talk today about the very amazing magical book, The Wishing Family in Quest for Magic. It's about a family of genies with Murdoch and his wife Martha and their 3 children. So we're going to hear from the source, Raine Bee, whose website is RAINEBEE books.com. And she'll just tell us about what she's accomplished, who this book is for, and why we should go check it out. So, Miss Raine Bee, how are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. Nice to speak to you.
Likewise. And so, what are you all about? What did I miss out in that introduction? What has you so excited lately?
Oh, well, obviously, as you get older, you've got to find things to do. And I'm 72, and I'm a young 72. I like to think that I'm still got the child in me. So I wrote the book after a long time, and hopefully people will like it and actually sort of get involved, because there's got to be more adventures with this family. So we'll have to wait and see. But we'll talk about the first book, and then I can tell you about the second one.
Ooh, exciting. So there's many books, and you already gave us some really wise advice in that it's important to hang on to that inner child at any age, right? Like, I mean, you could be 20 or 30 and be an old curmudgeon and be in bad physical and mental health, but who does that serve? What's the point in that? Why not have fun? And so you have this book, The Wishing Family in Quest for Magic, which is a captivating fantasy novel that takes readers on an unforgettable adventure through a world of genies, magic, and the bonds of family. So is this the first book that you mentioned, or like, what's the first, what's the second?
Well, the first book, obviously, I'm introducing you to the family, and they have a problem. And like all families, we have problems. We get problems, and we have to deal with them. But this genie family deal with it united. They don't just leave the one person to deal with it on its own. They all get together to help support. And this is what a family should be. They should all get together, look after each other, and support them. And a genie, yeah, they got magic. I would love magic. I think a lot of children would. So that's why I actually said, right, we'll do a genie book. And their wishing family, I thought, well, they give wishes, so why not call them the Wishing Family? And I put all their names so that they all came in the same letter, and they all had special powers. So there you are. That's the start of it.
I
And
like it. Well,
obviously,
what a great message. Family working together. And you say that there is the genies and there's magical powers. So what can be done? What are the spells? What's the magic?
well, they all can do magic, obviously. Murdoch, he's able to see things, do things, put powers over people. Martha is also, she's more like a fortune teller. She can see what people want and what they can do. And then you've got the young children, obviously they're only young, so they can only do small magic, like make bubbles, let them turn into musical notes and things like that. And then you've got Max, unfortunately, has no magic, and he's what they call a changeling. And the story is actually how they help Max try and find the magic that he's lost. And that's where the adventure starts. So you have to, they have to read the book through and go from
Of
there.
course. You have to read the book to find out what happens. And this is a fun message because it's so much like life, where in a family, especially, different people have different skills, right? One person might be good at numbers, one might be good at building things. And they say that comparison is the thief of joy. So if you are like, oh, well, this other person's really good at sports, or this other person in my family is really good at school and taking tests, and you think, well, that's not my strength. Well, don't beat yourself don't beat yourself up, because you have your own strengths to figure out. And so what was the reason for writing this? Like you said that you like the magic and the genies, but like, was this
Right.
something
But
that
it
you
actually,
always wanted, or
goes.
did you?
sorry, I go back a few years, well, quite a few years. When I was younger, I loved the folk tales like Sinbad, the Arabian Nights, Aladdin, and all those sort of books. And then I was very, very fortunate that when I grew up, I had friends that allowed me to sort of meet with their families, and they were Asian families. And so I would go off to weddings with them, and I would dress in the costumes that they had. And they took me to the weddings. I was introduced to all the beautiful, oh, it's so colourful. And I thought, do you know, I would like that. I think you need colour in this world. There's so much darkness, and colour is what we need. We need to bring happiness. Okay, there is obviously some sadness because Max is going to lose his family. And in this day, there are a lot of people that do lose children, lose their family, and the end result is he fights for them. And he actually does everything he can as a changeling to make sure that his family is brought back to him. So that is the gist of the story, but there's a lot of magic. And of course, he has an adventure. And he has the chairman or this big genie, who's a big black genie who's called, the actual genie who looks after everybody, and he takes him into the magical city of Necromancy. Now, Necromancy exists, and also the caves of Hophos exists. So I've used places that do have mystery and magic in them. And then
Ooh,
Kersey, where they live in the big mansion, was a place that I used to visit and stay. And people need to see these beautiful places in the country. You can go abroad, but try England. There's some beautiful places around.
that's interesting that you took the real locations and put them in your book. And I know that you've been in the English countryside and in
Yes.
Spain, and you raised kids and you're a grandparent. And I wonder if do any of your own family members accidentally or intentionally show up in the book as characters?
My little grandson he's only 5, but he's so wonderful and accident prone. And I actually did base the main character, although the character is a lot older, but I could see my grandson in him. Yes, he's so
Hmm.
so happy go lucky, but he's also unique and he's a darling. So yes, I did. Yes. And my two daughters, I would say, would be Melody and Music, the actual two girls. So yes,
Oh,
and they're
cute.
very, very special.
That's a fun way to use your imagination is putting the people that you know and love onto fantastic adventures. And when it came to writing the book, are you someone where the writing just flows, or was it difficult, or do you have a writing process?
Right. I did write the book and I put it down because I didn't have the time because I was still working. Then I picked it up and obviously we went into lockdown and I was made obviously put in furlough, and I thought, right, I'm going to sit down and I am going to go through this book and I am going to make it happen and make it come to life. So I thank lockdown for letting me do it. So yes,
And
it's got a lot to be said.
of course, and that happened with many people, right? They changed careers, they figured out their life purpose, they turned a bad thing into a good thing. And so you have this magic fantasy book, which can be fun for children, but I also imagine that for the adults, there are also perhaps like emotional lessons or themes or morals. So is there any of that in there? Is there like a kind of a hidden message or lesson anywhere?
It is basically, I mean, children, they have emotions that sometimes they can't express. And as a parent, I know for a fact that I can't read them at times. And I want the parent now to say to the child, look, come to me, explain to me, tell me what's wrong, because unless they know, they can't help them. And in this day and age, there's a lot of children that are struggling emotionally and unfortunately mentally. And I would like any child to just pick up the book and say, I can tell my parents, I can do that. And to have the confidence and the courage to actually go to a parent and say, yes, please help. And I want the parent to go back and say, I'm here for you. So that's the lesson I really want coming out, is to help each other, to unite. And, that is the most important part.
That's a great message, that communication is important, but communication is not just spewing out the words. Communication can be asking for help if you're the kid, and
That's right.
communication can be just listening without immediately offering advice if you're the parent. It sounds simple, but
Yeah,
we sometimes need stories like these to just hit us over the head with it, or get us
yeah.
to finally learn the lesson, because we haven't learned the lesson from our own everyday life. And so you say that the lockdown pushed you to getting this done. Did you have any writer's block, or was there any difficulty in like getting to the finish line?
There was no writer's block. It was just time. And as I said, when actually COVID hit us and they went into lockdown, I was in a field with my daughter and grandson, and I stood and I looked around and I thought, I'm finishing. I'm finishing work. And I actually got my phone out. I messaged my big boss and I sent him an email and said, I'm in a field, the sun is shining, accept this as my resignation. I've finished work. And that was the day I finished. And I got home and I sat down, I got my book out again, and I sat and I did the book. So, yes,
Very
that
good.
was it.
Yeah,
So,
life is
do it.
short. And then yeah, get it done. If you're a would-be author and you've been thinking about doing it, then this is your message. This is a sign that you need to get this done if you want to have something that you'll be proud of. I mean, if you quit or died today, your employer would hire your replacement tomorrow. They don't care about you. There's no loyalty there. But as far as you and your future and what your family will remember, I mean, this is important stuff. And what's I think is magical in itself is that many times when we like write a book and we go through like this, sometimes months long journey, we come out of writing the book with ourselves changed. We kind of come to our own realizations. Like, did you go through any kind of transformation like that? Did you change as a person as a result of writing this book?
Well, I got more confidence, because I never used to be able to say to people, oh, well, this is what I want to do, because I was always told. When you work in government, you were always told what to say and what to do. And it's taken me a long time to get my confidence to say, this is what I want. This is what I'm going to do. And I'm not having anybody tell me otherwise. So, yes, I've gained from it. I've got more confidence and I've got strengths. And now I feel that I can carry on. And as I said, I've written another book, and I've got more ideas floating about, which I'm putting down on paper. So keep going. Yeah, I got the child in me, and it's now starting to come
Yes.
out.
Yes. When we were children, we were not afraid to fail, right? We weren't afraid to trip and
No.
fall on the playground. And then when we become adults, we say, "Oh, I'm worried about running. I might fall and break my arm or something." And it's like we need to maybe embrace the more carefree nature. And because you say that you've got confidence,
Yes,
freedom, independence, and then now momentum in making these other books. And so we say that that first book is The Wishing Family in Quest for Magic. And what's the next book? Is it out now? Is it coming soon?
it's being edited as we speak, and the book is actually The Wishing Family and the All-Seeing Eye, and that's a magical one as well. So it will follow on from the first book, but it will include new characters. So the characters in the first book will still be there, but now in the second book, I've introduced different characters that will actually flow as well. So they have an adventure as well. So everybody does. They all start to work together. So, and that some other
Cool.
secrets come out.
Of course they do. So you're expanding the world, and more is happening. And so we've
That's
been
right.
talking so far about what led you to make the book, about the book itself, and about the sequel to the book, and just you've accomplished some amazing feats a little bit later in life. And so, in our conversation that we're having right now, because we're jumping in different subtopics, I want to make sure we talk about what's important to you. So, do you think there might be a missing question that I should be asking you? I just don't know to ask you.
Not really, but all I will say is families. Please, families are very, very important in this day and age with all that's going on. And if you have a family, doesn't necessarily have to be a relation. It can be a neighbor, a friend. That's family as well. So look out for each other. Make sure that everybody is safe, and then they will look after you as well. So it's that situation. Just keep looking after people, because life is very short and it can stop at any time. So health is one thing, family is even more important. So that's
That's
the
great.
missing question. Keep the family.
Yeah. Yeah, relationships, friendships, community,
Yes,
because isolation can be very scary, especially with, like you said, there's lockdown, but there's also, it's so easy, especially with social media, etc., to just be stuck in your house and be afraid to step outside or talk to that person. And we need to maybe get comfortable being uncomfortable and help other people because other people need us and we need them.
that's right. Yes, yeah. Especially now, especially what's happening today. Please, everybody, look after each other. It is important, and that I think is the missing question in my book. Is what I want. I want people to realise, you know, please look after everybody. It's all one family. Communities. I live in a village, and the village is a family. They all look after you, and you can call on them for anything. So that's the missing question. Make sure you look after each other. And obviously,
I like it.
stay young. Stay young and bring the child out.
Yes.
So
Age is just a number, right? It's how old you are in here
that's
in your
right.
mind. And
Yes.
so speaking to that and the many fun years ahead, like you say that you're finishing up with the publication of that second book. Is there anything else that you have to announce or look forward to in the future? Are you like doing a book tour, or is there anything else about your business or your life that's coming
Not at
soon?
the moment. Not at the moment. I'm waiting for the second book to come out. And once that's out, then obviously we'll look at what's happening. I believe that the book show in London, the book will be, my first book will be there. The second book isn't quite ready. I'm just doing some designs for each chapter, and then that will go to the publishers, and then hopefully within the next couple of months it will be out in the books, in the bookshops. So that's my
Hmm.
project for the next few days.
Exciting. Well, you are a prolific author, Miss Raine Bee, and
Ah,
we've been speaking with the author of The Wishing Family in Quest for Magic. She loves to write these stories. She gets ideas from old stories, myths, legends, creating new and interesting tales for people of all ages. And her stories often talk about bravery, finding yourself, and the strong bonds of family. They're exciting, full of heart, and they're fun and meaningful to read. So if you say, hey, that sounds exactly like something I want to go and check out, you can go on Amazon and search Raine Bee, that's RAINEBEE, and find this book, The Wishing Family in Quest for Magic. And if you're curious about melody and music and Max and Martha and Murdoch and about this family in danger, you can go to her website, which is rainebeebooks.com. You can find your way to the book there as well. Check out her blog. And especially when the newer book is out, then you can find it there as well. If you say, I need more of my Raine Bee content. And so that's rainebeebooks.com. And she's otherwise known as Lorraine Beasley. And you can just get that book, The Wishing Family in Quest for Magic, on Amazon. But before I let you go, Miss Raine Bee, it's
hmm?
time for the scary part of the podcast where
Go
I
on
try
then.
to stump you. I try to put you on the spot by asking about a fun or interesting quote or lesson that has served you. So, what comes to mind as far as a fun or interesting quote or lesson?
Oh, well, every day is fun. I mean, just living life is fun. So, I mean, just got to go out and enjoy it. I love walking. I love dancing. I was a dancer. Many, many, many years ago, I actually was with the British Ballet School. But yeah, I let that go when I got married. But yes, you've got to have fun. So if you could, that's the only thing I would say. You put me on the spot, but enjoy
Okay.
life. All right. And I'm off to
Yes.
Spain for a few months.
Oh, I
So
like
there
it.
we are. I like the sun.
Yeah.
So, so
So get out there, enjoy the sun, and live life, and be happy, and help others. And that's a wonderful
that's
message from author Raine Bee, who is the author of The Wishing Family in Quest for Magic. Check it out on Kindle, paperback, audio. Go find it on Amazon. We'll have the link under the show. You'll read it, you'll love it, you'll have a great time, and it will make you think, make you laugh, make you cry, all the above. So, Miss Raine Bee, it's been wonderful chatting with you, and thanks for being here and telling us all about your amazing life and your wonderful book.
thank you very much for actually having me on the show. Thank you.